Welcome to the Creative Saints podcast. I'm Victoria.
And I'm Josh.
All right, this is a big one today, only because it feels very relevant right now for us.
For everything?
For everything, yeah. So, I guess a couple months ago, I saw this phrase, and it's now become our
life mantra.
Our theme. I don't know. It's like everything. As soon as I saw it, I just felt like God was like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So I made it like the background on my phone, on my computer, it was like in every thought. And that phrase is, may it all be worship.
Yeah. And it really encapsulates every conversation in business, in life, in spiritual, in thought process, in that we try and live in that mindset. Maybe there are minutes of the day that aren't focused there because life and human and getting things done, but everything is kind of reframed around may it all be worship.
It felt like a good reminder, or I don't know, I feel like it grounded me a little bit when I saw it, and every time since that I've had a moment of, I don't know, that stress or wonder, or getting,
as we're trying to figure things out and build new things and teams and taking on different types of clients. There's been a lot of change that's been happening, and it's been a good grounding.
If we can come back to this, if we can just remind ourselves, may it all be worship, then I think it's a great place to work from, to live from, to serve from. That helps us to get back to why are we doing it all? And
then if we're having a bad day or we're a frustrating moment, we just remember that we're going to see Jerry Seinfeld, and it's just
everything is right with the world. If you have that, it's not until November, but truly having those tickets, it's like a light at the end of the tunnel some days.
Goal for you. So that's just kind of a funny having stuff to look forward to is always that can get you out of a funk, or okay, that was frustrating, let's move. It's like a silly thing that's helping us to just okay, that happened, let's move on with it. And I think that, though it's silly, has helped us to maintain the it's such a trivial thing. Let's get back to why are we doing all of this? And everything we do is worship. In every aspect of life.
I think also it's a great place to come back to as a creative. I mean, it can be such you have to keep up on stuff that's happening in the world, right? And trends and all the things. When you are trying to output as a creative, you're trying to, if you're working in a church, you have to be on par with things that are happening in the world, or working a normal 9-to-5 for someone, but you are a Christian and you're creating, you kind of have to always find that center. You have to find your why. You have to come back to that place, because it can be really easy to just get caught up in the checking it all off, or accomplishing a task, or making things look good,
but even
just for the sake of them looking good.
Even those mundane tasks of replying to an email, or talking to a customer or a client, or holding the door open for something. If we see all of those moments as worship, it really reframes everything.
So this episode is kind of going to be for the church kids. This is, for me, I grew up in church. It's something that has always been a part of my life. It's not something that, I don't know, it's what I've always wanted.
Same. Not that I've always I did not want to work in the church. Was not my thing. I wanted to work for TikTok until it did. But this is for the church creatives, the church kids. This is for the people who are creatives, or who are creating or implementing in the church. This is for you. It also pours out to everybody. Think about this in terms of your job, not in the church, and it will be very relatable. But we are going to specifically talk about things in the church, like just situations where
Yeah.
it could be overly frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I love my pastor. And we had a funny this past
Oh
week.
my gosh.
He didn't get me the sermon title or the
I
points.
just raise your hand if your pastor's ever been late on giving you his sermon notes.
Love my pastor. We had a funny joke about this on Monday. And so this is funny and not calling him out or anything because it's every pastor. But I texted him on Friday and said, "Hey, pastor, don't see the information." Radio silence. I called Saturday morning. "Hey, pastor, don't see it." Radio silence. So we go on with our day.
Yeah.
And like 7 o'clock that night, so sorry, man. I got that up there, and we take care of it. So I'm creating sermon slides and social media and all the things for Sunday at midnight.
Yeah. You and every other church
Me and
graphic
every
designer.
other graphic designer.
Yeah.
You can choose to be in a pissy mood.
Yeah.
Or you can choose to, this is part of how people are going to experience this. I'm still going to do this with excellence. I'm still going to love my pastor. I'm still going to expect the highest level out of myself. And I'm still going to get all of it done.
Yeah.
Even at midnight.
Yeah.
Because that's what we should do. This should be a worship thing. The pastor is delivering the message. The worship team is delivering and guiding into the presence of God. Those are all happening. Sunday school is happening. The welcome team, all of those things are happening. Would everything fall apart without these pieces? No. But
well, that was going to be my question. Did God still move on Sunday?
But God still moves.
Yeah.
Even without this.
Yeah.
So why would I think that this piece is more important than another and not see it as worship and getting it done, whether I'm doing it at 11 o'clock on a Friday morning or I'm doing it at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter if you frame it in this is worship.
No, that's honestly, I think that those are the moments though, right, where we have to remember the why and we have to remember what we're doing it for, because I mean, if you're serving in a church right now and you're using any sort of like platform, you know, where you're scheduled and you're like, it can be really easy to just accept the invitation, go on with your thing, go and accomplish your tasks, go and make sure that the lighting is right and the audio is set and the live stream is running and all the things, and then not actually step into the service and experience or have worshiped at all. And that's a scary place to be, because once everything becomes robotic, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
If you're showing up and just checking the boxes off, you might as well not be serving.
Yeah.
And some of this is going to sound really harsh, but I think it's a reminder that Victoria and I have for ourselves, checking our heart on the way to serve every week, whether it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, a Sunday. It's kind of a check your heart, and there is we'll dive into it more in a little bit, but the preparing your heart before you show up is part of that. And we can talk a little bit more about like how to get there, but showing up with the right attitude is how you get there. I just had a conversation this week with someone who has just been serving in 5 different areas.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the sanctuary having a conversation, and they're like, I'm serving here. I need to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And I was like, okay, but have you sat in a service lately? Have you taken a Sunday off? Have you rested? And he literally said it was like blowing his mind to think about that. And he just looked and pointed at the front and said, if I'm not focused on my like connection with God, like one-on-one, and if I'm not in tune with what's happening in this room during a service, when the worship and when all of that is happening, none of the other stuff matters.
Yeah.
And it does matter to a certain extent.
It's different too when you're on staff at a church, right? The expectations are different, so you have to find other ways to get filled.
Right.
And you have to show up filled. But then I like, you know, that conversation you had with him, like I immediately go, who told him he had to say yes to everything?
Right.
Because and maybe it was no one, right? Like maybe no one explicitly said, we're expecting you to say yes to everything.
Right.
You know, you don't have to say yes in planning center every single time. But in some form or fashion, an expectation was set for him, either by someone else or by himself, that said, it matters when I say yes.
But he explicitly said it was his planning center ratio.
Yeah,
He likes how
yeah,
it looks. So
yeah.
it's kind of your
It's isn't that
reputation.
funny? Yeah,
And if you are there for Jesus and not your reputation, it doesn't really matter what your
yeah,
ratio is. If you're being asked to serve in an area, it's actually okay to say no.
yeah.
If you're scheduled and you're like, hey, I've had a trash week, I really need to just come be in service and have time with God, that's okay. And if it's not okay, then the
Well,
culture is.
yeah, and I think that saying no to say, hey, I need to, yeah, have a moment. I need to be filled today. Like, whatever. God will move without your guitar lick. God will move without your switcher skills. God will, like, yes, things still have to
God
be,
will move without the graphic.
He will. And we've put so much emphasis on that Sunday morning experience. And listen, I am preaching to the choir, right?
Yeah.
Because that Sunday morning experience matters so much to me. It's where new people encounter God for the first time, and it feels good to have the sanctuary look pretty and sound good, and it like those are all really really important things, but they're not more important than your heart posture.
Right.
And if what you're doing has stepped outside of worship, it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It becomes irrelevant because God didn't ask us to do anything outside of worship. And I think too, and I know that this isn't like a new way of thinking about this, but in our like hyper production centered world where output becomes very, very important, and like what it all looks like and how it all sounds becomes very important, we have equated God's presence with how good the worship is.
Our excellence, our
Yeah,
preparation.
exactly. And I think that we can leave a Sunday service and go, oh, the worship was so good today. And our marker of what makes worship good can be really off, because worship is not how good the band did or how good the singers did or what happened in the first 20 minutes of service. But worship is actually, did it touch God? Like, was God honored and blessed and encountered in this moment? And it may not be through the music moment. It may be through the preaching, or it may be through the altar service, or it may be through the greeters that, really spoke to someone as they were walking in the door for the first time. So I think that our view of what worship is has to shift. It is not the music experience. It is not.
Right.
That is a form of worship. That is not worship. Like, worship is honoring God for who He is, what His character is, not for what He's done for you.
Yeah.
And I did have a pastor's wife growing up that really explained that to me. And it's kind of always stuck with me that like worship is honor for who He is. Praise is honor for what He's done.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I won't dig into the theology of that because I can't say that it's like that I have scripture necessarily in this moment. But a life of worship is what we're talking about, right? Not a worship experience.
It changed for me, and I brought this up maybe a month ago. We were having a conversation, but at a conference we were at in Nashville, Daryl Johnson was talking about the angels were created to worship.
Yeah.
We are on a Sunday morning or a Tuesday afternoon. We are joining in with worship that's already in progress. And that changed everything for me. And I try and put worship on every morning when I wake up, because I want everything to be worship. And we are not holier than thou people. We are human. We fail. We do the wrong thing. Like all of those things.
Yeah.
But keeping the mindset of trying to be joining heaven as worshiping. Heaven's already worshiping. So it doesn't matter if this church or your church or my church is doing it well.
Yeah.
It's already happening. God created the angels to do that.
Yeah.
And we're joining it.
Yeah.
And that changed a lot for me. But now when we're coming into a service on a Sunday morning, we're expecting some magical moment. And I'm going to say magical because I think we're missing the point on, I want to feel something. Well, you know what? What is the still quiet, like, you can feel God. You
still
don't
small voice.
Still small voice. You don't have to have some loud, magical, high production. Now, don't get me wrong. It's important to strive for excellence, but God will move. Even with you sitting silent in your bedroom, God can move.
Absolutely.
In your car, in wherever it is.
Yeah. We were looking at this scripture earlier, Romans 12:1. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. That's in the ESV. And some things say, which is your reasonable service being worship in that moment.
Yeah.
But like, what makes worship holy and acceptable? Like, God is saying, like, don't even do it if it's in the wrong posture.
Right.
Holy and acceptable to God. Like, if you're doing it from a wrong place, he's not accepting it anyways. It's no longer worship. It is work.
Yeah.
And that's not worship. It's
Yeah.
just not. You can accomplish something and it be worship based on your heart posture.
Right.
But if it's not worship, it's nothing.
Yeah. It's
Is that too much?
No, I wanted to say something, but I think we should hit a pause on the theology behind it, because I think it would be really cool to talk to someone who has firm theological background in worship and in... we'll have a conversation after this. But
Okay.
I have an idea for doing something where we dig into this, because it is so important.
This is live, you guys. You're getting live banter podcast planning.
But I think that there is a lot more to this that can be beneficial in talking about it, and something that would even be helpful for us in guiding people. And we're always looking for growing and learning more. So we'll talk about that more later. But God created us to create. God created us to worship him.
Yeah.
God created us to be a light to the world. So everything we do, right?
Yeah.
Should be that. That's pretty basic.
Yeah.
But the world is so loud.
Yeah.
There's so much noise, so much distraction that we get into grind mode.
Yeah.
And we're like, we got to hustle, we got to go, we got to accomplish all these tasks. We have to keep the right mindset. So being a church creative, being a church kid, being involved in ministry can just be a grind, because you're wearing 5, 6, 10 different hats.
And I think in this culture too, where people get really excited about getting a church job, I would say it's a phenomenon. I mean, growing up, nobody in the church except for the pastor was paid to do the jobs that they were doing. I mean, I'm sure it's different in a lot of churches, like based on, whatever. But the sound guy wasn't getting a paycheck on Sundays, and
he was showing up.
He was showing up and volunteering. And I think that while I love all of it, I really do. And I'm really passionate about all of it. Like, sometimes I miss those days where we were doing it because we loved it. And we were doing it because it was just our part in the church that Sunday. And I miss those days of, like, don't get me wrong, I love volunteers too. Like, it's all so important and it still exists. But I think because we're trying to reach a generation where the production is so important to them too. And I do think things are shifting. I think there is a rawness and a realness to God that people are looking for now that we kind of missed over the last 15 years. This is such a rabbit hole, but it can just be so easy to, like, I'm talented in this area. I'm going to do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I did my job. Not I came and worshiped, but I did my job. And so what you're saying about the grind, I think that churches have actually been a part of making it that, in the way that they've set up their volunteer system and staff systems.
Churches couldn't get volunteers because they burned people out.
Right.
And so they created this gig culture where, hey, come play on a Sunday morning for an
Yeah.
hour and we'll pay you $100. And now you have Hobo Joe that will come and play guitar and he'll be there that Sunday, but
I don't
then
know why you had to
he,
say Hobo Joe. He's probably a good guitar
Hobo
player.
Joe is probably good. Hobo Joe has become my, when I need to say something.
Instead of like Joe Schmo, you
Yeah,
say
it's Hobo Joe. I don't know. That's just become my random person that I relate to. Anyways, um, but you have Joe who comes
yeah.
on a Sunday morning and will play guitar for being on the stage or collecting a paycheck or whatever it is. But Joe's not coming to church every other Sunday.
Right.
And then he'll go to another church next week because, oh, there's a paycheck there.
Yeah.
Nobody's connected. Nobody's building roots
Yeah.
doing that. And
Yeah.
you cannot tell me that if you go from church to church playing and playing, that you're building roots.
Yeah.
I know that's offensive to people. I know that it pays people's bill. Like I know all of those things,
Yeah.
but I firmly believe that if you are not planted, we've had a lot of conversation about
Yeah.
this. If you're not firmly planted in the local church, you're not going to thrive. And at some point you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
At some point you're going to deconstruct. You're going to tear things down
Yeah.
because you're imploding from not feeling like you have community
Yeah.
when you built that system of what church is, and now it's not become worship, it's become a job.
But then we complain, right? Because so I mean, how many people have we known that do this? And I get it. I really do.
We know a
And
lot of people who
we
do
know a
this.
lot of people who do this. And churches need it because they can't get volunteers, and then people need it because they need to pay their bills. Like it's not even like I fear for people's community, like what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think that when you operate in that way, it can start to become um you can start to feel very like it's a thankless job.
Mm-hmm.
It's just repetitive.
Yeah.
It can feel very unseen because you're not actually in community. You're coming and you're ticking a box and you're getting a paycheck. And so while people may be thankful and while it may be a form of worship to you, I would just maybe challenge you to check your heart because
But if
you have to be filled.
if you are showing up to a church on a Sunday morning to be on stage, but you're not showing up in the pew to be filled,
Yeah.
who are you worshiping?
Yeah. I I'm right there with you.
Okay, let's move on
Mic
from
drop.
that could get
Yeah, I just think we have to be aware. I guess that's all it is. Like this is just a heart check, right? Of like why are we doing what we're doing? Because some things may actually honor God and they don't feel like it to you. It may not be the thing that you want to be doing, but actually it is worship to him. So there's so many like ebbs and flows of this, but really this is just a call to like check your heart.
And it's something that we do this at least every couple weeks.
Yeah.
We do kind of a temperature check
Yeah.
of what is stealing peace. Because when peace is gone, it all becomes a little chaotic.
Yeah.
It's all manageable. The plate that we're carrying over the last 6 months is very full.
Yeah.
And it's getting fuller and wouldn't have it any other way. We have prayed for years for more capacity, and God has shown up and showed out, and it's amazing. But we have to balance that.
Yeah.
And so there have been things where we're like, nope, that's not the thing. Yep, we need to put our foot down on this. Yep, we need to do there is a temperature check, and that helps us to maintain a level of, okay, we're doing this for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Say no to the wrong clients. These are all things that we are currently doing regularly. We're not perfect. We are not, you never get to the other side of this.
Yeah.
This is something that is kind of a forever deal of why are we doing this and who are we doing it for? Why are we doing this and who are we doing it for?
Yeah. And that makes the little things that are kind of annoying. Like if your heart is right, if you are in the right place and you are kind of in that place of like, okay, God, even if I don't want to do some things,
Mm-hmm.
like you've given me responsibility.
Yep.
This is worship unto you. Help
Holy
it.
Spirit, come and help me get this done.
Yeah, and like help me get it done, but like help it make impact.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't see the why
Yeah.
behind this. Like if you are on staff at a church and you may not fully agree with a decision that was made, or somebody wants to do something, you're like, I have to make this stupid thing that I don't even like. What are we even doing this
Yeah.
for, right? Well, you have to do your job,
Right.
but like your heart posture then needs to be, God, help this honor you.
Yeah.
Even if I don't see the why.
Yeah.
Help it bring honor to
Mm-hmm.
you, you know?
That's so good. So, sometimes when things become very mundane, they're very
Yeah.
like, they feel so trivial.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, like, I know you want this, but hold on.
Yeah.
Like, people.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, we'll get there. And even for us, I'll take full here as a designer. Sometimes people want something, and you're like, okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That's not the most pressing thing, but we'll go, and we'll work, and you're like, okay, now that's done. Wasn't that easy? But then the impact on the other side of that is so huge for the kingdom.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
It just feels like a box, but
Okay.
that got ticked, but actually it made an impact. Yeah.
Do you remember the prayer signs?
Yeah.
And what was that was such a simple thing, simple design, simple, like,
well,
the whole
and it was
thing.
one of those things that was like not high priority at the time, right? Like we'll get to this when we get to it.
Right, and that's what I mean about like emails and like constant reminders of like, let's get this done. And it was like, well, actually, there's 98 things that are
in front of it,
way more important than that. But then, what happened once those signs were had in hand?
I mean, not only did they love them, but actually that same night they had, when they actually used them at the prayer night, they prayed for more people than they had the entire time they'd been doing this. And like, did people come because of the signs?
No.
Probably not. Maybe. No. Probably not. God probably led them there.
Right.
But like, now you had a hand in the impact of that night,
right,
where people's lives were touched and changed and they met God. Like,
but that's a disconnect for me where I didn't really see how that was going to be such an impact.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when we're doing the mundane things, we have no idea how God is going to use that to impact actual souls and salvations and people actually getting to know Jesus.
Yeah. But then if your heart posture is, God, I don't know if this matters or not, but use it for your glory.
Right.
Like, then it really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. You know, like God is going to encounter someone with or without your sign, but maybe he will use it.
Yeah.
Because that was your heart posture.
Yeah.
It can be hard to let God into those like little moments where you're just getting stuff done, but the reward of it and like the fruit of his presence in it is so much greater.
Yeah. It makes me realize like putting worship music on to work and do designs that seem a little monotonous.
Yeah.
Maybe is more important to be in the right mindset doing that. So it does give me, I felt like I was checking off a box.
Yeah.
Getting something simple done. But the impact that can be had through something so simple, that's not mine to determine how God's going to use that. Yep. And so that's a heart posture change and something that I'm trying to get better at. Again, this is all just continuing to get better and do better.
When you say you put worship music on, do you mean like Bethel or do you mean like Kingdom Core?
Okay.
Does it depend on the project you're working on?
No, when I'm putting on worship, most of the time, it is actual worship bands, churches, worship artists, not CCM.
So when we want to kind of start reframing our heart posture and all of that, I think it's also really important that we acknowledge when we're burned out. I mean, you said you talked to that guy the other night and it's like, okay, let's actually take a minute here and go, why are you doing what you're doing? There is some burnout that you're experiencing right now because you say yes too often. you cannot worship from burnout. I'm sorry. You can try and you may like be able to pray and all of that. I'm not saying, but like if you are truly experiencing burnout, fatigue, all of those kinds of things, your decisions are not going to be made from the right place. Like it's just it's not a healthy place, I guess. Maybe it's not true to say you can't worship from there, but like it's not a healthy place to be. And
but I don't think that you can worship and fully surrender when you're burned out, because when you're burned out, you're tensed up.
Yeah.
You're depleted. You are there's something to that of burnout is not healthy. And you can recover from burnout by breaking down and laying it, but you have to realize, like, if you get to a point where the only thing you can do is go cry at the altar, or you just break down and you're like, God, I can't do this anymore. If you get to that point, you are hitting that surrender, but if you don't change and do it differently next time, you didn't really learn from that, and you're going to be back in the same place again. And those cycles of burnout are probably more unhealthy and unholy, because you're just going to dig deeper and deeper down a hole. Like, oh, every 6 weeks I feel completely worn out and burned out. So then 6 months down the road, you're like, man, why am I even doing this anymore? Instead of letting God use that first time and realizing, wow, rest is important. Sabbath is important. Being intentional about, okay, I need a break. I had a hard week, and I'm going to let someone down by saying I can't serve on a Sunday. I can't deliver something for Sunday. But it's better to let a human down than to completely destroy your worship life or your relationship in worshiping with God and just depleting yourself. I feel like that's way worse than letting a human down, because there's probably a human that's like, I get it. I've been there. Please go take some time off.
There's probably someone else that can fill the role for you for a minute. And I think sometimes we get scared that we're going to be replaced, or something like that. But I think, we have to really see church life as it's a culture. It's a culture of people. It's a body of believers working together to accomplish one goal. The one goal should be the expansion of the gospel and nothing else. If we're not accomplishing that in the things that we're doing, again, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? I did want to share on the topic of burnout. There was just something God gave me a couple years ago when we were really, really, really busy. And I say busy because like it was busyness,
Not healthy busy.
It was not healthy busy. We were outputting a lot, and not just at church, but at home too. And there's a lot happening. And so, God told me one night, I was like, I don't even know why. I went to the basement by myself, and I just felt like God was like, hey, write down everything that you're doing right now. Write down every single thing that you're outputting right now. And I was like, okay. So I wrote down every area where I was giving something. So maybe I was wearing 3 or 4 hats at church. I wrote down every hat, right? Everything at home.
This was a staggering list, a shocking list.
It was very long, actually. And when I actually sat down and like wrote it all out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually, it's more than I realized. And that's not good either. That meant I was saying yes to things that like, what the heck? So, after I had it all written down, every area I was outputting, which included wife, mother, everything. God said, I want you to rate them in order of importance to you. And so, okay, well, like what would if I had to give something up, I'd give it up right now, take it off my plate, easy peasy. And then the other end of the spectrum being like, I actually love doing this and I don't want to give it up. So I went and I rated them in order of importance to me. And so then God said, okay, now look at this list and decide, what have I asked you to do? And what have you said yes to people who have asked you to do something? And it blew my mind, because immediately half my list was me just saying yes to things. And I realized like, okay, God, you have called me to be a wife. You have called me to be a mother. You have called me. It was worship at the time, like being on the praise and worship team. And then there were a couple other things that I really felt like this was actually an area that God had called me to and wanted me to grow in. And then the last couple things, it was, this isn't my calling. This isn't, I didn't actually mean to sign up for this. I didn't mean to say
Somebody
yes to
asked
this.
me in passing, and there was a few things that I was like, I didn't even know you were doing that. And you're like, yeah, this person asked me to do it. And I was like...
And I was capable of doing it, so I just thought I should take care of it.
Right. Capable doesn't mean...
Called.
Ooh.
I actually was thinking that in my head, and then you started that sentence.
Is that the title of this episode?
So how immediately, though, did I call my leaders and say, I have to get rid of this?
Yep.
I have to get rid of this. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if I had moved forward, there was going to be a conviction in it where God was going, I didn't call you to that.
Yeah.
You picked it up. And like, now I'm rethinking this in this season of our life. And we recently have talked about doing this again, where we go, where have I been called and where have I just picked it up? And that can be scary because picking things up that God hasn't called you to can be detrimental to your calling, to the thing that you actually are called to do. Like, because it's going to weigh you down.
Yeah.
And
I just realized last week there were 3 things that I needed to just set back down on the ground. Somebody else can pick those up.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I'm called to do. And just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Yeah.
And setting those things down, now there are, I mean, how many like new client consults or inquiries have I had just this week? And I wouldn't have the capacity to do that if I was with busy work.
Yeah.
That somebody else could do. And a lot of the times
it's like the definition of baggage, right? Literally taking something on that nobody asked you to take on.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not healthy, and it's busyness.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the things that you pick up because someone's like, hey, we need someone to do this. If you pick that up, that's being busy and not being intentional with your time. And it's very, very detrimental to moving forward. That is probably the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Being in a church, in ministry, in any faith-based anything, any family business is, hey, we need someone to do that. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I did that one time.
Okay, well, so in this scenario, and I feel like I've had to kind of check my heart on this over the past couple of years, when people have asked me to be involved in children's ministry.
Yeah.
I have said no. And there have been moments where I've been like, okay, God, like, is it okay that I'm saying no? Because I am well aware of the statistics that children's ministry will forever be the place in the church that needs the most volunteers. I am very, very aware of that. I spent several years leading children's ministry when I was much younger. But I am not, in this season of my life, called to children's ministry in any way, shape, or form.
Outside of our home.
There could, yes, exactly. There could be an argument for using your gifts in the kingdom.
Right.
Serving in areas that, just need help or just furthering the kingdom. There could be an argument for that, yes. However, in this season, I know it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And should I sign up to serve for VBS? Actually, God told me no this year.
Yeah.
Like, God told me no last year when I asked him. And so I am not feeling guilty for not doing that because it's not my calling right now.
Yeah.
And that's not to say next year when VBS comes around and they need an extra hand or two that I'm not like, hey, you know what? That sounds like a really cool thing that I'd love to do. Like, cool. Maybe I have the capacity for it next year.
I have a feeling you won't.
I'm also very careful to not sign up for stuff like willy-nilly because once you're in the system in children's ministry, you can't get out. They'll never let you leave.
I have a feeling that you won't.
No, I also have a feeling that I won't. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, there could be an argument made for doing whatever needs to be done. If there's trash on the ground, don't just leave that to the facilities team. Pick it up and throw it away. Like,
oh my God, if there's trash on the ground at your church and you walk past it, you probably should go repent for your sins because goodness gracious, if there's trash on the floor of your house, pick it up.
What are we doing? No, so again, kind of going back to the like original story, I guess. The second I let go of the things that I wasn't called to, there was so much freedom. And immediately I felt like God, like, it was like I made room for God to speak to me again. And he was like, hey, thanks for clearing the air there. Like,
But
I
that's
didn't,
okay. Let's pause there. Busyness distracts you from hearing the voice of God
absolutely.
because you're so in it.
Yeah.
Rest, downtime, those things are so important to hear
Yep.
what God wants you to do, where you're going. And if you want to grow, you have to let things go. And God is the one who's going to tell you that.
Yeah.
There are things that you are going to pick up and you're going to be like, yeah, I can do that. And you're going to have to let someone down. I say let someone down.
Sure.
It's the reality.
Well, that's how we feel, though, right?
That's how you feel. You're
yeah.
going to have to let go and let someone else have something, even if you pick it up. And that's wisdom. That's discernment. That's
Yep.
knowing, wow, just because I can doesn't mean that I'm called to do that.
Yeah.
And you need to constantly, I need to constantly ask God, what am I called to do? What is my purpose?
Yeah.
Because it will change and it will adapt and he will grow where there's room.
Yep.
He won't grow you if you're carrying too much.
That's just science too. Like, look at when a plant outgrows its pot, it can't grow anymore.
You'll stop.
You have to make room. That's just how the world works.
Sometimes God will move you multiple states away in order to grow you. Dead serious.
Very serious.
If you need to be in more fertile soil, he's gonna do it.
Well, and I think that this is also really, really good for leaders to hear. If you are a leader in the church, I'm not saying staff, if you lead any group of people, any amount of people, it is vital, in my opinion, that you check in with those volunteers and say, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Where are you? Hey, I know that you've been on this team for a while. How are you feeling about it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel called to this ministry? Because I'm sorry, it's not just a volunteer role. It is a ministry. If you are doing anything at a church at any point in time, day of the week, especially on Sundays, because obviously biggest day of the week for church. But it is your job as a leader to check in with their hearts and say, where are you at? Mm-hmm. Allow them space to say, you know what? I actually don't feel called to this anymore, but like I didn't want to tell you because I didn't know if you'd have anybody to replace me. You know what? Don't even worry about it. We'll put a form out. We'll put a QR code up for this team and see if anybody else is interested in joining. They should never feel like they can't leave because of you or because of a lack or something like that. So I just want to encourage leaders, like, really check in with your team because they may not even know or like have the space to kind of think about, maybe they've never thought about it. And you're for the first time going, hey, does God still want you to do this? Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. Do you still need me? No. I want you to leave. I want you to think about this week and talk to God and say, God, is this still what you want me to do? Because if the answer is no, it is no longer worship.
Yep.
Like,
goes for pastors too.
It goes for pastors too. It really does, from the top down.
It goes for anybody. Just because you were called does not mean you're called forever. Mm-hmm. Just because you're called doesn't mean that that's going to be where you stay. You may be called for 3 months. You may be called for 3 years. You may be called for 30 years. But you should check in with God and know what you're called to do.
Absolutely.
I have been trying in, God, what am I called to do? What do you want to use me to do?
Yep.
Because if it's not graphics, if it's not visuals, like, I'm willing to adapt, but if I don't ask God, how am I going to get an answer from God?
Absolutely. And I think that it's so crazy. We literally leave him out of these decisions. I don't think it's on purpose. I think that there's the mindset of, as long as we're serving, it's unto the Lord. Do everything as unto the Lord, right? Like, and that's what we're doing. I think it's an easy thing to, like, we're here, we're giving of our time. Mm-hmm. It's worship.
I signed up for this 10 years ago, and I'm the only one doing it. Now it's all on my shoulders, and I work 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And, well,
like,
God,
maybe reassess.
Maybe ask God, hey, am I supposed to do this anymore?
Yeah. I think we leave him out. It's not just about thinking. It's not just about how you feel, but, like, literally, hey, God, am I supposed to be on this team still?
But what if you've raised someone up as a leader and there's someone who should take over for you to give you a break?
Yeah.
And you're still leading in that area? Are you holding on to control for yourself? Are you running it because that's what you're called to do? Or are you doing it because that's what you've always done? Like, those are all things that only God can answer.
Absolutely.
And you may be holding back someone else from their calling because you're sitting in the
I
position,
have to do
for
this.
lack of
Yeah.
better words, because you're like, well, I did this once and I'm the only one who can do it. Maybe it's not your thing to do anymore. Maybe you need to drop it and let someone else pick it up.
Yeah.
So
It's really hard to it's hard to get to that place. I mean, if God, but truly,
we've been there.
But we leave God out of it so often. So I don't think it's a decision that anybody can make for you, but if you're honestly asking God, hey, where are you in this? If he's not in it, if he hasn't called you to it,
Yeah.
it might be time to move on. And
Yeah.
there's probably another area of the church or your family
Yeah.
that he has called you to.
Yeah. So practically, how can you do this? How can you implement this into your life on a daily basis
Yeah.
to really connect with God, get in a rhythm with God, and know, what am I called to do? What am I supposed to do? Where am I
Yeah.
supposed to serve? What should I do for a living? Like
Yeah.
all of those things, and it all just goes back to a very, very simple thing. Start with prayer.
Yeah.
Just ask God. If you're leaving a Sunday and you're getting in your car and screaming and grumbly and murmuring and garble, 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 maybe just, okay, God, that was hard.
Garble.
I don't
Sorry.
know. Garble. I don't. You're
No,
really
that's what
hating
it
today
said.
on garble, garble. If that's how you feel when you're leaving church, is grumbly,
Yeah.
please go. Please, please, please pray.
Yeah.
Because I have been there. I have gone and served at church all day and done the holy thing, and then gotten in the car and been in such a pissy mood the rest of the day because I was doing something that I wasn't called to do anymore.
Yeah.
I was internalizing, taking on frustrations that God didn't even want me near, and it was ruining my day. And
Yeah.
if it's ruining my day, that's going to radiate and ruin someone else's day. Someone's coming into the church and I'm grumbly and garbly, that's not going to be the impact that they need, and that could stop them from finding salvation or having a
it
moment with
is
God.
that heavy, right?
Right. Like, that sounds silly, but it really matters that much.
Yeah.
And I have been on numerous occasions that person. I don't think in the last couple of years, but I have been that person who's, I'm at church, I'm grumbly, I'm serving, what the heck are you doing,
Yeah.
dude? And it really came down to like me saying, what are you doing? And saying, God, I don't really feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And God was like, yeah, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Thanks for listening, finally.
Yeah.
And thinking about things from, I'm doing this for God.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for God to touch people. I'm doing this for God to be magnified and glorified.
Yeah.
I'm doing this so that God feels worshipped.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no more.
Period. Yeah.
No more to it.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Garble. Period.
Lord.
I mean, pray. Period.
I think that I kind of touched on that earlier. Like, everything has to be unto the Lord, or it doesn't matter. And you have to make that space. It isn't just going to come. It's not always going to be easy to hear God's voice.
Yeah.
Especially if you're overwhelmed, especially if you have all of the noise happening because of all of the things that you've taken on. But you have to build that margin in your life to go, God, is this still the thing?
Mm-hmm. And that's important. Is this still the thing?
Is this still the thing? And we've done that with, I just realized, like, we've done that with homeschooling.
Yeah.
We homeschool our kids, and we've said going into every year, God, is this still the thing that you have for us to do? If it is, we're going to do it for another year.
Right.
We're going to do it until you change our plans. And right now, I don't see that happening. But it's kind of that open-handed life. We've talked about that before. That's something that we just feel very open-handed with the things that God has given us. And when your hands are open, when you're just sitting there going, okay, God, I've got it. Like, you've given it to me. It makes it easier for him to go, hold on, I'm going to take this actually and replace it with this. And you're not holding close-fisted onto stuff that you're no longer supposed to be holding on to.
And it took us years to get to that point.
Years. So many years.
Maybe we're stubborn.
We had this point here in our notes, and this is really interesting. It hits actually very, very, very close to home. Not working so fast that you forget why it matters. And for us, this season, the last 6 months, the last year and a half, have been slow. We have everything in our life has slowed down a little bit, a lot of it. And it has been frustrating at times because it feels like things aren't moving. It feels like things aren't working. God-wise, it's not happening in the time that I want it to happen, right? That's just
God's timing.
Yeah, we always get that wrong. But I think sometimes it kind of goes back to the busyness, right? Of like, as long as I stay busy, I'm doing it unto the Lord. Well, no, busyness is not a prerequisite of whether or not you're doing it unto the Lord.
Right.
Like, going slow and actually accomplishing something might be a better marker of whether or not it's worship. Actually following through on tasks, actually thoughtfully, prayerfully, like having a vision for something, having God's vision for something and seeing it come to pass. Letting something take the time to bear fruit might be a better marker of whether or not it's worship. And sometimes I think that in church culture, we accomplish things so quickly that we don't actually even give them time. We don't even stick around long enough to see if they bear fruit.
Yeah.
We're just moving and grooving and getting it done. And we've got our 3 services on Sunday. And I'm not saying it's not worship. Like, if people are finding salvation and getting baptized and they're coming to God and they're actually being discipled and encountered and all of those things, it's all important. But like, I just, for us, God has put us in a place of slowness.
Yeah.
Where it has given us time to hear from him and to walk through something long enough to see the fruit on the other side.
Yeah.
And there are some areas where we have not seen fruit yet. And we're still in that slow growing process. The branches are growing, the leaves are growing, the fruit isn't there yet. And
but we've been like tending and nurturing and cutting and pruning and.
But in our past years of marriage, life, church, all the things, work, business, even in business right now, I feel like it's happening. Where in the past we were like, done. Okay, moving on. Got it.
And now our projects are much larger. Yeah. They're costing more and
they're taking longer.
Yeah. But they need to take longer in order to be what they are supposed to be. Yeah. And
would you say it was hard for you to change your turnaround times?
Yeah, when you like build on, oh, we can turn this around in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, like, that's an incredible thing that most designers can't do. But now it's kind of this, hey, I know I cost more than everybody, but with that comes a lot more attention to detail. We are going to walk through this hand in hand. We're going to see every step of the way. We're going to walk through the process so that you have your hands and your eyes on everything and you can make tweaks as we're progressing down the line. Yeah. So it was very hard to change the turnaround times. And at the same time, I just had a conversation yesterday. Raising our rates had to happen because I'm at like 20 years of experience doing this. Yeah. Like, we hit a milestone there. The caliber of projects that are coming are very high level. Yep. So in taking more time to do them and raising rates, it brings it to this, like, we're paying for a premier product. Yeah. We're doing everything with excellence. You are invested in this. And there is something about when things cost more, people are more invested. Yeah. We had a pastor who said, if it costs you something, you're going to be more invested in it. And so it's not to cost more just to cost more or make us more money. It's, we're going to sit and we're going to premiere one-on-one, actually build a relationship and walk through this together. So the turnaround time thing was hard initially until we raised the rates and like there really became this value to it.
But now you're seeing fruit of the time it's taken.
Now we're seeing fruit of that. Yeah. There are people who can't afford it, and I kind of hate that. But they're going to a cheaper alternative, and then they're coming back and they're saying, hey, I got this really fast, but it's really, really bad. Can you help me? Well, I would love to help you,
Yeah.
but it's still going to cost the same amount of money because it takes the same amount of time. Well, I already paid for something,
Yeah.
but you went the cheaper route
Yeah.
first. So I have actually started because we deal with a lot of churches and nonprofits and ministries saying, go pray on it. If this is
Yeah.
the right thing, God's going to bring the finances.
Yeah.
And end of story.
Mm.
So me putting my trust in God there has made, okay, the turnaround time is going to get longer. And that's one of the things we've built on is quick turnaround
Yeah.
with excellence. But if you just give it to God and you say, okay, you do your thing, all of the others have come. And now we
Yeah.
have more people inquiring than ever. So
Yeah.
it was hard. It was hard for me. And I had to just give it to God
Yeah.
because God, I'm not trying to build this business on my own or in my own way. I need you to help me. And I do feel like when I said that, it was like, here are the steps.
Yeah.
Here
And
you
he
go.
slowed it down.
He slowed it down, but then I felt that nudge of, okay, you slowed it down. Now raise it up.
Yeah.
Uh Now you raised it up. Now here are more inquiries. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense,
Right.
but it does make sense when you just give it
Yeah.
all to God. So
Yeah. I think I don't know. I think maybe closing this out, like not closing it out yet, but kind of wrapping, like vision is so important, and the Bible says how important it is. Doing things for things sake, I'm not interested in that anymore.
no,
I'm not interested in just having um for action just to be doing something,
yeah,
busyness, right? I'm not interested in it. I will say no every time if there's not a purpose behind it.
busyness for business sake, pretty for pretty. Like
Yeah.
if there's not purpose and there's not like an action or a ability to get somewhere,
Yeah.
there's really no not for our own gain, but
Yeah.
like if there's not a purpose
A
behind
kingdom
something,
value. Yeah.
a kingdom value, even client wise, a couple inquiries that have come in, I'm like,
Yeah.
I could do that, but I don't really want to
Yeah.
because like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Um,
So I think asking yourself the why, right? Who is this for?
yeah,
There should be a very clearly defined, like, who is this for? Maybe the answer is everyone. That's fine. But who is this for?
did God
Is
ask
it
you
for
to do that for
me?
everyone?
Is it for them? Is it for God? Is it
Yeah.
for what am I doing this for? Why does it matter?
Go back there real quick. Sometimes things can be for you or for people. God will let like he's not controlling. Like
Right.
we can do things for ourselves and for other people that's perfectly cool.
Yeah.
Like but is that the purpose that God is that the season that God has put you in? Is that what you're called to do? Like it
And
if
have you invited God into it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't not everything has to be I mean for church
Solely
it does,
for
but
God. Like,
not everything is like,
yeah.
oh, I have to do this because God wants it. Like, well, or I can't do that because God didn't ask me to do that. We have free will. Like, we can't do things that just bring us joy or passion,
Sure,
whatever.
yeah.
So we're not saying like don't go shoot that video because
God
it's
didn't
not
explicitly.
directly
Yeah.
like benefiting God. Like you're making something beautiful and He created you to do that.
But when you've surrendered, your work becomes worship.
Right.
So
I just
I
didn't
think
want that
it's
messaging to get convoluted.
yeah. I think why does it matter is really important and probably something that we don't ask ourselves enough. I think that we can have really, really good ideas that make sense. They may be fully fleshed out ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but if the why isn't there of why does this matter?
Yeah.
Are we doing it for fun? Are we doing it like just find the why in it? And then
Yeah.
if nobody noticed that I was doing this, would I still do it? If the only person that knew I was doing this was God, would I still do it? I was actually thinking about, we had to go back to the church the other night because I left my phone there. And it was way later than I wanted it to be. And I didn't think anybody was going to be there. And when I walked in, there was a young girl. And she was just going through the hallway cleaning all the windows. There are probably only a handful of people that know that she does that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know her that well. So I can't speak to... I would imagine that's worship for her. You don't do something like that unless it matters to you. And I just thought, like, I wish we all found those little things that we do as important as that right there. Like,
Yeah.
I think the big production jobs, volunteer positions, whatever it is, we prioritize them more than things like that.
Yeah.
And I know without a shadow of a doubt that God saw her on that step stool with her squeegee and was honoring her work because he called her to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe someone asked her to or whatever, but like I do know her enough to think like I would imagine her heart posture in that is unto the Lord. And it kind of made me miss a season where I was cleaning bathrooms and nobody knew it but God. And like I don't know. I would encourage people that are doing things that nobody else sees.
Yeah.
Find your why. You still ask the questions, right? Like check in with God and like make sure it's the thing you're supposed to be doing, but don't be discouraged just because no one else sees it. Like God sees it.
Like picking up the trash.
Like picking up the trash, the candy wrapper, the Kleenex, the whatever it is. Like those little moments are unto the Lord. And that's it. That's all that matters. Yeah. And I don't know. It really like I hadn't thought about it a whole lot, but I don't think I'll ever forget walking into church in that moment and seeing her standing there with that squeegee and like thinking, who even knows she's in the building right now?
It was like 9 o'clock at night.
It was late. It was late, yeah. And she's a wife and a mother, and like she was doing something of service to her church and to her God, and like I don't know. What
an example.
Truly, like I am so touched by her, and yes, I'm going to call it worship in that moment because and now that I'm saying this, I should probably find her on Sunday and tell her like but now that maybe I don't want this to sound whatever, but like God grows you in areas, and so I do feel like I'm kind of not in that season right now. If somebody asked me to clean a bathroom, I would say yes, probably. Like, but that's not my main point of ministry right now. It has been in another season. But our heart posture
has been helping to clean the kitchen when something is happening.
Absolutely. Like I'm not
we still get to do that occasionally.
We do, and I think it's important because it makes you a part of the body. It makes you a part of the family. But it's just funny to be maybe a couple more years down the road now where God has us doing something different that is more on the production side of things.
Yeah.
It can appear at times maybe to be a more flashy serve area,
but people don't really see it.
Well, but what I'm saying though is like I never expected to miss cleaning the bathrooms, and like now in this moment where I'm saying like, but I remember what it was like to just like have my headphones on, worship while I was cleaning the church. And I don't know, now that I'm on the other side of it, I will never take that season for granted. And so if you are in that season where your worship isn't from a stage, where your worship isn't seen by anyone but God, if you are in that place, soak it up. Like the things that God is going to trust you with because of how you're honoring him in this season, like
what he's building in the quiet.
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna make me.
I know. I'm getting. I was not expecting to get emotional today.
Well, we've been in that season for a really long time at times. Yeah. Okay, hold on. So, what God will build in you in those quiet times, in those unseen times, in those you may be at the church after hours, you may be doing something from home, you may be driving someone somewhere, you may be on the phone with someone who needs someone to talk. What God will do in you through those unseen moments,
those slow, quiet moments.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. We've gotten to the other side of those seasons, and God has said, I know I can trust you now. And that's not a small thing. Like, knowing that God can trust us with something. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm a human. Like,
wait, you what?
You know?
It's, those seasons will keep you humble forever.
Yeah. This really was supposed to be a podcast for the church creatives.
I feel like I'm getting more out of this. God will, but that cleaning windows is a creative thing. It's keeping the viewing clean. It's there's so much to it. Okay, we could keep talking about this forever.
So Church kids, listen up.
Church kids.
If you are on a team at church or a staff position at church, if you are
a volunteer lead,
a volunteer at comms, marketing, graphic design, kids ministry,
camera operator,
whatever it is, like somewhere maybe in a space where you have to like ideate and think things up and all of that. Imagine what your team could look like if every single thing you did was worship. What if you actually ran the switcher like it was holy unto the Lord? What if you actually took the pictures like they were holy unto the Lord?
What if you held the microphone and sang like it was holy unto the Lord?
Okay, that absolutely always should be, but I know sometimes it's not. I know.
That's not a jab.
I know.
That's real. Like,
it is. What if you moved the pulpit? What if you ran the service, if you're service coordinator? What if you, whatever it is,
said hi to someone, held the door open,
said hi to someone,
like it was a holy moment,
like God was in that moment because He is or should be in it. What if you unlocked the doors that morning like it was worship? What if, like, it doesn't have to be the creative spaces, and you know that's our world. That's who we love speaking to and speaking about. But like, man, I just don't want to lose. Dang it. So stupid.
We're not passionate about this at all.
This is why that phrase, may it all be worship, has wrecked me in this season, because I know that I have done things in the past for the sake of doing them. Mm-hmm. And I refuse to move forward without the heart posture of worship.
Yep.
In anything. This is so stupid. I can't believe I'm crying.
We have done things, and I know we have done things, and we have asked God to forgive us, but each individually, not like we do everything together, but
sure.
We have asked God to forgive us for, I did that with the wrong intentions. I did that with the wrong heart posture. I did that not for you. Yeah. And I refuse to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And at the end of everything, I want that to be not seen, but I want it to just be through the actions of everything that I do. And we want to teach our kids to do this. Through everything we do, we want that to be our intentions.
Yeah.
Our everything.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, if you are doing anything this week, do it under the Lord. I honestly pray that whatever you put your hand to this week, that it becomes worship. And I would encourage anyone that is maybe thinking this over, praying through this, working through this, I would just encourage you to invite God in to those seemingly mundane things. Invite Him in to the things that maybe you just haven't invited God into anything in a minute. Please do that this week. And I'm not saying everybody should go and reevaluate everything that they're doing. That's not for you right now, but just invite Him in.
Yeah.
Give Him space to work, to move, to speak, and just reframe those little things.
Absolutely.
As worship. So may it all be worship this week.
May it all be worship.
I love you.
I love you. All right.
All right. That got heavier than I thought it was going to.
That got heavy, but this is literally our life goal, mission.
Yeah.
We just want to share this message with everybody all the time.
If you have a conversation with us in person anytime in the near
probably
future,
gonna
you're going to hear this.
All right, guys, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.